So what do you call yourself? Welcome to the LaTangela Show. Hey.
Yeah, what can I do for you this fine day?
This is your destiny. Hot, hot, hot.
Right now.
Welcome to the LaTangela Show.
Kick it.
Come on in and enjoy yourself.
Right now.
We gon' party like no one else. Welcome to the LaTangela Show.
Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the LaTangela Show podcast. You know, it does my heart well to have this time together where we can unplug, unwind, and tap in all at the same time. I have a lot of random research, and when it comes across my desk, sometimes it catches me off guard, and I'm like, I read it. I got to tell it to someone. I might as well tell it to you. And here we are. Here we are. One of the highlights of my day. And thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of the soundtrack of your day, whether it's the music or just some static of random research or even some of the did you know news briefs as we see what's going on around the capital city, surrounding areas, and even around the world. I want to say thank you to everyone who has logged on to 225bulletinboard.com. In this season, you have been nothing less than amazing, nominating all of these teachers and support team members as I've teamed up with Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys, with Gordon Gives and 10 Cares, highlighting our nonprofit organizations and community stakeholders, just seeing the work that they're putting in and finding ways to work together. If you have some of those opportunities that you would like to nominate someone that's doing the work, we'd like to see how we can best work together. So how about you drop me a line? All of my information is posted at latangela.com. Earlier this week, I noticed that there was this headline that dropped. Oh, summertime is in full effect. Kids are looking for things to do, hanging at the mall. How about it? I'm all for it. But after 4 o'clock on Fridays and Saturdays, if they're 18 years of age and younger, they'll need to be accompanied by someone that is 21 or older. Have you heard about it? It's in full effect, kicking off on the 28th of June. Now, if you hadn't read the story, if you hadn't checked out the headlines, please do so. Feel free to chime in. A lot is going on in the capital city and surrounding areas, and this is just one of the safety measures that the mall is taking. And they're saying that if the children are 18 years of age or younger on Fridays and Saturdays, starting at 4 p.m., parents, guardians, make sure that you're there and that child is accounted for. You know, you can always find the inside scoop with this. We'll give it to you first. Coming up in the hot seat and on the 10 line, I understand that on Oprah Winfrey Network, they're bringing some entertainment to us this summer. Family Empire, the Houston edition. In the hot seat on the 10 line, we're going to chat with none other than Nicole, Braden, Handy, and Jermeshia, Goudeau. Now, with them, their family is like this real estate empire. They have been doing this for so many years. And now their life is about to become our entertainment. Honey, cut them cameras off. When we're done with this random research, cut, it's a wrap. But no, they're going to invite the cameras to their home, to their business, and the balancing thereof, or the lack of balance thereof. Either or, we're going to find out on Friday nights, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, and I am here for it on network in full effect. And we're also going to chat with none other than the Bible Answer Man. Have you heard of him before? Okay, so he is the best-selling author. He is also the president of the Christian Research Institute. He is also the host of his own radio network when it comes down to the Bible Answer Man. And he has just released the new collector's edition. It's revised and expanded. Have a lot of questions that need answers on this one. The complete Bible answer book. For all of those questions that need answers. And he touched on a lot of things. So in the interview, we're going to touch on some things that I feel might shed some light. You know, we live in a time where people may not be all right with not being all right. And there's this real murky space when it comes to depression, when it comes to suicide. What does it look like turning that around? Especially when you have so many stats saying that it's starting younger and younger and younger. At what point do we say enough is enough? What conversations do we have? When do we have them? How do we say it? It's a lot. And I want you to join the conversation. So make sure you stick it out with me for that. Hank Hanegraaff. It's available now, but I want you to check it out with him, get the inside scoop. When it comes down to a lot of the random research, some of the stuff I'm really here for. This one made me smile. It's not scale day. That's enough. We can end the show right here. It's not scale day. I've been hitting my Peloton, touching it just about every day, 10 miles plus, trying to figure this dear thing, get a better, healthier heart, do it with a smile, chase the sun or let the sun chase you mentality. But according to the journal Appetite, did you step on the scale this morning? If so, you made a mistake. It takes a few days, especially after the weekend. So Friday, don't stress yourself out. Saturday, Sunday might cause a little more damage than we should. So Monday, let it go. Tuesday, let it go. It said, according to their experts, and I'm going to trust these experts, Wednesday is when the real weight is best measured. So we'll touch the scale on Wednesday. Not a second sooner, don't ask me. Did you know that you're supposed to talk to your plants? I mean, I've heard of that before. My grandmother had the best green thumb. I'm still, trying to figure out how to keep a cactus alive. However, if you do not talk to your plants, you should. Speaking words of encouragement to your plant helps it grow. And it also increases your sense of being connected to nature. Researchers have actually found that when people interact with plants and trees, they felt more a part of the world around them. Dear tree, I see you, standing tall and strong. Dear plant, I see you, thriving, soaring. No, not soaring, the plant. I'm trying to think of what would I say to a plant. That green sure looks good on you. That's about the best I got, but I'm gonna figure it out. I'll figure it out. Okay, when it comes to your personality, people are so judgy. You may be sitting there trying to decide how you want your egg because that's just how you want your breakfast. Meanwhile, they're conducting random research on you, trying to figure out your personality linked by the egg decision. How do you prefer your eggs? These are serious questions that need some real answers. For instance, if you prefer fried eggs, according to Woman's World, you're open-minded and creative. Poached eggs are the favorite of smart people with good taste. Boiled eggs are preferred by ambitious people. Scrambled egg eaters are sensitive and introspective. And if you go for the omelets, you're creative and healthy. Who has the time to sit there and figure all that together? Like, how did you compile this random research? I would much rather you say if you add ketchup to your eggs, or if you add hot sauce to your eggs, but this boiled, fried, scrambled, what's the difference between fried and scrambled? Like, who's getting paid to conduct that random research? And are they hiring? Glamour magazine, they're talking to us. What's one of the biggest pet peeves around the office? The one that is the loudest around the office. My bad, y'all. My bad. I didn't know. Now I know, according to Glamour. Use your inside voice when you're at the office. 1 of 3 workers rate loud talkers as their top office pet peeve. Say it ain't so. Got to be more careful. Well, fellas, this summer, I'm going to help you out. I know it's about time for the family vacations. And when I say family vacations, maybe it's time for you to visit your in-laws or your in-laws to visit you. According to Crazy English, Richard Ladera, he is doing his best to work it out for the fellas. Use the excuse when your mother-in-law is coming over that you suffer from penthorophobia. Have you ever heard of that? Penthorophobia. It's really a phobia that is the fear of one's mother-in-law. Now, don't say that out loud. Don't put your wife up on game with that one, because now she's mad, your mother-in-law's mad, everybody's upset, and it's just a bad weekend for us all. Don't blame me. I read it, had to tell it to someone, and I figured I'd tell it to you. So there it is. Last thing on vacations. According to Reader's Digest, there are a few things that we should always take with us when we're planning our vacation. Sunscreen, check. Flip-flops, check. Duct tape. Huh? Why do we need duct tape on a vacation? That sounds more like an oxygen channel situation getting ready to pop off. But according to them, If you're going on vacation, travel experts say that you should always bring a roll of duct tape with you. Use the strong sticky tape to repair a broken suitcase. Close the gaps in the curtains to keep morning light out. Or strip lint from your clothing. You're really feeling that one. If I'm traveling with you and you have a roll of duct tape, we have other conversations that need to be held. And duct tape for lint off your clothes is not one of them. Time to go. I want you to keep it locked. We have some wonderful interviews on the way. And again, if you would like to be a guest, all you have to do is submit your information at LaTangela.com. Duct tape.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, sunshine. How are you?
Good morning, Dan.
Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to join me today. I know that you have been busy. You have so many titles that if we were to begin to just spit them all out, we'd be here till dinner at least, right? So I had to pick and choose from a couple of them. Best-selling author, wait. We'll talk about this in less than 20 seconds. President of the Christian Research Institute, which really comes in handy when you're inking something like this, and the host of the Bible Answer Man broadcast. How did you know that you wanted to take this level of edutainment to the next level?
That's a great question. Edutainment. Yeah, it's really true because we're not only educating, but we're trying to do it in a way that is compelling.
Yeah.
And it's been interesting to me, Tan, to see how interested people are in having their questions answered in a concise, compelling fashion. So our Arbitron ratings on the Bible Answer Man broadcast throughout the history were off the charts. And it was because people have questions and they had a place to go to where the answer would be well researched. And so often over the years, particularly in the early years, people would ask me a question. I'd say, that's a great question. I don't know the answer to that question. Let me research and return.
Yeah, let me get back to you on that.
So the next time I had that question, I would know the answer and be able to present it in compelling fashion. So in the process, I was growing during my 40-year career as host of the Bible Answer Man broadcast.
Absolutely. And I mean, that's over 4 decades. Congratulations at that, because that's a lot of hard work and dedication. And then you become a voice that people begin to listen to, whether they agree with it or not. They know that there is some level of a moral compass, some level of research that you have placed into it to want to be right in the sense to be able to lead them in a direction that's best for them. Because it's not like you were force feeding anything in any of these chapters. And that's what I really loved about it the most. People, they can ask questions, whether they believe or not. And many years ago, I began this feature. It was called Ask the Pastor. On Friday mornings, we would have pastors come in and just let callers call in and ask questions, because you are living in a world that is hurting. We may have questions that we really don't understand, and we don't have a safe space to ask those questions. But to be able to get the right answers that will calm our spirit and hopefully redirect that, that's what's needed in the world. I've noticed that throughout this book, you have something that really struck me. It's about yesterday's word in a today's world. Break that down for me a little bit.
Yeah, so I think in a very concise and brilliant way, what you're communicating is that the Bible's relevant in every epoch of time. It was relevant in the first century, it's relevant today. And I think the 3 great apologetic issues that everyone needs to grapple with, whether you're an atheist or whether you're a Christian, is there a God? And we say as Christians, the heavens declare the glory of God, the skies proclaim the work of his hands. So when you look at the masterpiece of this planet, there has to be an architect. Just as when you look at a cathedral, you know that there's an architect. The second thing is you have to deal with the fact of Christ's resurrection. If Christ rose from the dead, then he does not stand in a line of peers with Baha'i or Buddha or Muhammad. He is utterly unique. He had the ability to lay down his life and take up his life again, thereby demonstrating that he is God. And then the third thing, and this is directly to your point, is Is the Bible divine or merely human in origin? And what is the evidence for saying that the Bible is divine? That it is not just the renderings of human beings, but rather it is the Word of God and therefore trustworthy in content and presentation.
I love that. You kind of broke down some other topics that are really sensitive. And I know that's really hard when people are going through it and they want to ask the questions, but they're not sure about the answers. And just to prove that some of the things that you talked about in this book are very relevant from yesterday's word to today's world, let's just fast forward. Here we are with this instant gratification. We have all of this hashtag retweet. If you see it, the masses, they gravel to it. It must be the truth, right? So many people are living an imperfect lie because it's their best filtered life. And we have people that are struggling when it comes to depression, when it comes to suicide. These are some of the things that you tackled in this book. And I came across this alarming stat. It's stemming from Centers for Disease Control, stating that suicide is the third leading cause of young adults between the ages of 15 to 24. At what point do we start having these open conversations with our youth? Because we see that the crime, it's out of hand. We see that disrespect is at an all-time high, or as they would say, audacity is at an all-time high. Nothing seems to shock us anymore. Before we get to the level of depression and suicide rates being even higher with our kids, what are some of the things that we should take as a walkaway with this book to encourage them?
Yeah, I think one of the things, Tan, that people have to recognize is that we're not mere molecules in motion. If we were, and you're in a desperate situation, an unhappy situation, a tragic situation, perhaps taking your life doesn't really matter because you're just molecules in motion. But if you know that you're created in the image and the likeness of God, and you know that you're both physical and metaphysical, that the mind is not identical to the brain, and that you will exist for all eternity, then that conversation becomes incredibly poignant, incredibly profound, because taking your life does not end your life. It ends your physical life, but you continue on. All who die will be resurrected. All who die will be resurrected. So the body that dies is the body that will be resurrected. And you're either going to be resurrected in union with God, what we are created for, fellowship in the Holy Trinity, or we're going to be separated from the loving grace of God. Now, we're separated from the loving grace of God, not as a capricious act of God, but that's what we want. And so God, you know, I've always said this, Tan, I've always said it's not the absence of truth that damns, it's always the despising of truth that damns. So I'm not here making a judgment on whether someone will be in the loving presence of God or not in the loving presence of God. But I am saying one thing about suicide. People need to understand that suicide is murder. It's the murder of oneself. And of course, one of the commandments, the most profound and poignant of commandments, is that we shall not murder, one of the 10 commandments.
It is. And speaking of the 10 commandments, you know, our governor, he just signed a bill into law stating that he would like to have the 10 commandments visible in all of the public school classrooms, excuse me. And of course, that's an uproar, and we're going to see how things work out with that. But again, you know, whenever it comes to a situation where you have this open dialogue, asking questions for a greater level of understanding and not a judgmental tone, it makes it a lot easier for people to be able to express themselves, for people to be able to ask questions without feeling stupid, without feeling attacked when they get the answers, even when the answers are uncomfortable. But with this, you have the new collector's edition, revised and expanded over 4 decades, the complete Bible answer book. One of the toughest questions for you today. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
What was the hardest part in this book for you to ink and say, I'm done with it? Because this is a revision, this is expanded, but as you were writing, you said, okay, now, Hank, I wrote it. It's a done deal. I'm going to leave it there. I don't want to revise it anymore.
Yeah, it's a brilliant question again. Yeah, I wouldn't rule out, except I'm 74 years old now. I wouldn't rule out
You're still
something
just
that's
warming
even
up.
more
You're
expanded.
warming up, Hank.
Yeah, who knows? But I love answering people's questions, and when I find questions that are relevant to a particular epoch of time, the epoch of time in which we're living now, not 1988 in the 20th century when I started answering these questions, but the 21st century, I think, golly, I'd like to have that as part of the complete Bible answer book as well. But this really, I mean, it covers the landscape in terms of what I think people need to know.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that you and your team, you put in a lot of work for this. As you're answering a lot of these questions on your broadcast, is there ever anything that catches you off guard just when you thought you've heard it all? Yeah. Is there anything that ever just kind of takes you back just a tad, like, let me still get back with you on that one?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I answer the question precisely as you just say. I say, that's a really good question. I really don't know how to properly answer that question. Let me research and return. And that does a couple of things. Number one, it lets people know that I don't know everything, which sometimes people make that wrong assumption. They think that, well, you must know everything, but I obviously don't. I'm just as finite as everybody else. But the other thing that's really great is it gives me an opportunity to go back and research and return, and then the next time that question comes up, I have a compelling answer that's satisfying to the audience.
That's good. Do you ever have any topics that get uncomfortable for you?
Not really. When you've lived, I'm obviously in the fourth quarter of my life. If I live to be 100, I'm still in the fourth quarter of my life. So I'm not uncomfortable with anything at this point. I think that people can ask me virtually anything, and I've experienced so much in my life. I have 13 children, 9 natural and 4 adopted.
Never a
And
dull
so
moment.
yeah, I've seen life through their eyes, as well as I've experienced a tremendous amount of life, not only here in America, but around the world.
That's awesome. If there's anything that you wanted to leave a listener or viewer with today, what would it be?
Well, the only thing that I would really want people to do is focus on 3 things. Number one, ask yourself this question: did God create the universe? And when you look at a masterpiece, you know that there's a master designer. Is Jesus Christ God? And the answer to that question is yes, he's God, demonstrated he's God through the immutable fact of his resurrection. And is the Bible a reliable resource for faith and practice? And I think that the evidence demonstrates that it is. And I've actually, in my Bible Answer book, developed acronyms so that people can not only hear the answer to that question or read it, but remember it as well.
Absolutely. And this is a very great tool, especially if you're adding something to the collection. If you have a book club, I encourage everyone to get this book, The Complete Bible Answer Book. It's the collector's edition, revised and expanded, none other than the mastermind of it himself, Hank Hanegraaff. And I want you to think of this as an extension of your office. Whenever you have anything going on, you tell them, look, I need to jump in the hot seat on the tan line or make the field trip to Louisiana, and I got you. I know you have more work to do, so I'm going to let you chase the sun or let the sun chase you. But either way, get after it. I love you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it.
Well, you are amazing.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Proud of you. This is brilliant. Thank you for this.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning, sunshine. How are you?
We are doing well. How are you?
I'm holding on yet holding on. I feel some type of way because you need to know right now, this is like an extended family reunion in the making, right? So I'm
Well, come on hello.
now on like Auntie Mary and them
Everybody is our cousin.
that part. And if you dig deep enough, surely you're going to find an Auntie Mary somewhere. So, hey, cousin, cuz.
Hey, Hello, cousin. How are you?
I am excellent. Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule and joining me today in the hot seat of the 10 line, because I've got questions that need answers.
All right.
Let's do it.
Now, we're doing something new, and you're coming fresh out the gate. It's a heavy swinging type of situation. Oprah Winfrey Network, that's owned for those who may have been under a rock for the last century. Family Empire Houston. Your real life is about to become the entertainment for so many. How did you know that you wanted to bring this to the cameras? Because, there's always that one you can't take anywhere, but they coming too, especially now with the cameras. How did you know that you all were ready to bring your family empire to a network to say, I want you to get a behind the scenes look into our lives as we navigate through some things?
So I'm glad that you asked that question. It was a very hard, as you could imagine, it was a hard decision. But here in the Houston area, our family's originally from Louisiana. They migrated to the Houston, Texas area, and just through hard work, they were able to. Our grandparents, especially, were just able to achieve so much here. And so, in our real estate business, people tell us all the time, "Y'all need a show. Y'all need a show." So even before we were propositioned for a show, the seeds were being sowed that people need to see y'all's life. People need to see, hey, y'all not this, prim, family that's been, old money type family. It was just working hard, family, togetherness and love and support, and just love to see you all working together. And so that's kind of what sowed the seeds for us to be like, okay, maybe we can put this on air.
Ooh, child, because we're here now. Ain't no turning back. We are going to debut this thing come Friday, June 28th, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. I got the snacks and I am pulling up. And you know who I'm really waiting on? Because see, I know y'all going to put on and be all gorgeous and glamorous and work like no end. However, none of that matters to Granny. None of it. Because see, these lights, these cameras, don't let it get you confused. We are here to get the business all the way clear. Do you feel any pressure knowing that you're giving your best, but you still have that eye on you? That even though hashtag retweets, everybody is all in, do you still feel the pressure to be able to live up to a legacy like the one that they've led for you?
I honestly think the pressure came before the cameras. Our grandparents set an amazing foundation for us. Yeah. They set an amazing foundation for us. So even before the cameras, there was pressure, to live up to the family legacy, to make sure that we continue to create generational wealth throughout our family, it's pressure. Let's be clear, it's pressure.
Yeah. Now, is it true when they say more money, more problems?
Beforehand.
Everybody's putting in the work, so everybody kind of feel as if, but do we have that one straggler that feels as if that entitlement is real? I really don't have to do the work. Is there that one? Will we see it this season?
Maybe not this season.
She said, "Oh, wait a minute, you're taking me fast. Maybe season 2 or season 3. Just woo child, woo saw." Now, with that, being a realtor, it's almost like that's an episode in itself because of the market, the twists, the turns, the clientele, and everybody who wants to sign up and take that, that realtor pose. Everybody got one up right now. So even to be able to do this on a day in and day out, does it create new challenges for you when you're trying to keep the clientele, gather new clientele, and take this real estate game seriously?
Absolutely, it does. I mean, one thing that life is short of is time. And when you realize, hey, all the things that we are up against, we have our own families, we have our business, we have our individual business, then we have the business of Braden, our family obligations. Nicole and I are the oldest 2 grandchildren. We take it, the family is our business as well. So, it's just a lot trying to make sure that we're still maintaining the level of professionalism and excellence with our clients, generate more business, generate more agents, and just have the careers and the lives that, that we expect, and do it in the way that we expect with excellence. So it's definitely challenging, but, we make it happen. And that's because we have no other way, because Oscarine is our grandmother.
Absolutely. Now, Nicole and Jermeshia, as we are watching, what is that one takeaway that you want the viewers to get, whether they're a part of the family as an extended cousin, or if they're watching for only entertainment, or maybe the family dynamic that's there? What is it that you want the average viewer to get from Family Empire Houston Edition?
We want them to know that honestly, we're just like them. We are a loving family. We work together. We work very hard together, but we also have trials and tribulations. We also struggle. We also have disagreements. We just putting it on camera, right? So we're just like them. We're still those down home Southern, like to good eat. And you're in New Orleans, so you know what
Absolutely. I'm here for it. You already know the struggle. I'm here for it. What?
But we want them to know we're just like them. We're real people. We go through real things and we have real life and real challenges, and we hope and pray that they can relate to those challenges and that we may help them with something along the way as they see us struggle with it or, overcome obstacles and challenges as well.
I love it. And this is an extension of your office. So whenever you have anything that's going on, feel free to jump in the hot seat on the tan line. It's a family reunion. You get to Louisiana, I got you covered. So just pull up on me. I know you got more work to do. So listen, Friday nights, starting this Friday, is going down in a major way. Oprah Winfrey Network, you got it right. My cousins are coming to show up and show out with Family Empire, the Houston edition. I'm proud of you. I know you got more work to do, so I'm going to let you chase the sun or let the sun chase you. But either way, get after it. I love you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it.
Ooh,
Thank you.
We love you back. Thank you, Tan.
Thank y'all so much.
Have a good one.